Good to see you, everyone. My name is Robbie Howell, and we just hit 2K subscribers! Yes, this happened just a couple of days ago. Thank you to everyone who has supported my work over the years. I sincerely appreciate and thank you for your patronage. And it is time, as promised, to do a little bit of an AMA. Ask Me Anything. Thank you to everyone who contributed questions to this. I tried to have my wife curate them, and she did not, so I've curated them. And we're going to go through and answer all of the questions that you have. And at the end, I have a date with a habanero. But we'll get to that later. It's only going to be for the last couple questions. As always, if you would like to support my work, please make sure to like and subscribe, join our Discord, and support me on Ko-Fi. Links to all of them can be found in the description below. And with that, let us proceed to question number 1. This one comes from Max Bowman on YouTube. Why did you start YouTube? Very simple. My son was born back in 2021. He was kind of strapped to my chest 24/7. I really started taking a lot of notes and thinking about what I wanted to do. And so it was a creative outlet for me at first, and has become even more of one. Next up, which is your favorite Civ and unique units from Giagris on YouTube? My favorite Civ back in the day was the Persians. I played them a lot. Once the Malay released, they also became one of my favorites. As for unique unit, probably the Plumed Archer. I've always enjoyed them. They're very fun to use, even though, I mean, historically speaking, they're dumb, but like just in terms of gameplay feel, really fun. Thank you for that question. Next up, what is your favorite Pantheon in AOM Retold? Who is my favorite Major God? And who's my favorite Minor God? From Scintilus on YouTube. Favorite Pantheon would probably have to be the Norse. They were the ones I played the most often. Favorite god, though, even though they are not Norse, would be Ra, specifically because I love the god power Rain. My favorite minor god? Probably Skadi. Frost is very fun and very strong, and Frost Giants are very fun and very strong. What are your favorite settings to play AoE 2 from AoE FSMRAP on YouTube? That would be, no joke, hear me out, 8-player tiny map. Free-for-all. I love 8-player tiny map free-for-alls. Sounds dumb, it's really fun. Highly, highly endorsed. Maybe I'll do one with the community sometime. What's up next? What civilization do you really want added to AoE 2 and or AOM from Crosshill on YouTube? What's one civ that's not in the game that you would want added? From Giagris on YouTube. Okay, so these kind of both strike at the same thing, so we'll answer them together. For AoE 2, I think the single civilization I would want most... that's miserable. The one I think deserves it most would be the Jurchens. And in AOM, it would probably be the Sumerians. Hence why I did a build on them. Go check that out if you haven't seen it somehow. Let's see what's next. When AoE 3, with a little kappa face, from Megas on Discord. Soon. Unironically soon. How many Turkic civs are there to add in your mind from Crosshill on YouTube? So I have brainstormed this with the help of Temidin. Thank you very much to him for helping me out. I'm going to make a video about it eventually. Suffice to say, for now, probably somewhere between 8 and 12, I think. But video to come. Let's see. Thoughts on the concept of mercenaries from Skeleton Angel. This was a much longer comment. I had to curtail it. I think mercenaries are a cool idea. We obviously see something kind of like that with the Egyptians in AOM, but I think those units are crap, and I think there's much better ways to do them. I would love to see like maybe a building that had a rotating cast of mercenaries available for hire. That sounds really fun to me. If you were to add new map ideas in AOM, like Vinland Saga with its own theme, what would you add? From Blue Bedouin on YouTube. I forget who it was, but someone mentioned the idea of having an Abzu map for Sumeria, which is like vast majority water with like crossable shallows, and that actually sounds super fun to me. I know that water maps are like much maligned. I agree that they're not optimal, but I tend to really like Water Nomad in Age of Empires 2, and I'm kind of envisioning something like that. That sounds kind of cool. Is there any hero, unit, or character for AoE 2 you would really like added from Crosshill? Well, honestly, there really isn't much question. If we're talking like a campaign, Harold Hardrada. Without question. I talked about him a lot in my Norwegians build way back in the day. Go check that out. He is the one character who I think deserves a campaign more than any other. Close second would be Belisarius. But if we're talking about like a newly added hero to the game, Oh, shit. Brian Boru, maybe? That sounds correct. What's next? What is your favorite movie from Red Templar on Discord? It's not Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Weird answer. There's a comedy film that stars the Beatles called Help, which I first saw when I was 10, and I've rewatched probably close to 100 times. Very weird pick, but I'd say that is my favorite movie of all time. The Beatles movie Help. Highly recommend if you like the Beatles. Do you like Star Wars? From Marian Zendor 3974 on YouTube. Yeah, it's alright. I'm not like a tremendous fan of it. The original three are alright. I actually like the prequels a good bit. I was very fond of them. Maybe it's nostalgia. But I will say the prequels did give us the Clone Wars cartoon, which I think is the single best piece of Star Wars IP of all time. And Galactic Battlegrounds, people love talk about that. I haven't played it myself since I was like 7, so I don't have any opinions on it. But it's cool. It's a cool idea. Yeah, overall, I like some elements of it a good amount. Let's see. Elves or dwarves from Crosshill. I look more like an elf. I mean, minus beard right now. But when I did film acting, I usually ended up playing some form of wicked fairy of some kind. So elves for me. Let's see. What kind of TTRPG settings do you prefer? Low magic, dark sun, history-based, mythological, from Carl Capo on YouTube. And what fantasy settings do you have particular interest in, from Crosshill? So I lumped these two together. I am very, very picky when it comes to fantasy settings. I was just talking to Temudin about this on Discord. I absolutely hate when a fantasy setting or fantasy IP says, "Oh, we're Egypt, but with a twist." Shut up. This is Greek mythology with a... No. I don't care about real world stuff that you put a twist on. That's been done to death, and the real version is better. I like stuff that is largely original, like built from the ground up with a contiguous set of world building behind it and a lot of like strong, make sensical decisions with it. I really love that sort of stuff. And if I had to pick beyond that, I'd say low power for tabletop games and fantasy in particular. I don't like world breaker, everyone's a god sort of shit. I like when people are not normal, right? They're a step above normal. Their magic and stuff brings them beyond, but they are distinctly flawed and they are not one-man armies. I really prefer that. Let's see what's next. Could you tell us more about your TTRPG by the name of Enclave, please? Disclaimer, this question absolutely isn't an intentional ad, from Tomash on Discord. Why, yes, Tomash, I am happy to tell you about my game, Enclave. This is a diceless tabletop role-playing game that I successfully kickstarted last year. Link to the Discord down below. It is a fantastic first tabletop game if you're new to the genre, and is a breath of fresh air to veterans. An entirely diceless tabletop role-playing game that nonetheless retains long-form stakes, investment, and an emphasis on player skill. If you'd like to check out Enclave, please check out our Discord. Link down in the description below. Thank you very much for the question, Tomash. And that was absolutely not set up. Next up, what should a theoretical AoE 5 be about? From Crosshill. I think we need to go back to the ancient setting that AoE 1 was in and do it properly. My preferred AoE 5 would take place between roughly 200 BC and like 300 AD. I think that would make an exceptionally interesting game. And if you didn't want to do that, you could do a little earlier start, maybe like 400 BC or something like that. But yeah, ancient era should be done correctly, and we should focus on a smaller time frame. Next, this is a long question, bear with me. Given how a lot of your Civ builds are focused on specific people and specific eras, do you think it would serve the game better to stay in its original concept of focusing on the Dark Ages of Europe and the Middle East and the birth of the medieval world to allow better and more accurate representation of specific people in those times? Or are you glad to it expanded both the time frame and geographic frame to have more representation of more peoples and empires in different eras? From Conscript David on Discord. And then, similarly, do you think that AoE 2 should be divided into two regarding the era? Some like 476 to 1000, and another game that will last from 1000 to 1500-ish, from Orgatorix on Discord. I've lumped these together because I make no bones about the fact that I think Age of Empires 2 should be split into multiple games. I would personally say that it should be split into no less than 4 games. And maybe I'll make a video on that topic in future if you guys want to see it. I do think that the game would be served better if it had a much narrower time frame and was able to go much more specific into the civilizations of those time frames. Though I think geographic frame I would not personally curtail. Great questions. All right. Pepper time. I'm about to blow up a lane here. For those who don't know, habaneros are quite high on the old Scovilles. I have a little tray of strawberries here, so if you hear me eating like a pig, I apologize. If ever you eat a hot pepper, I would recommend you have 2 cloths. One for your mouth and one for your face. All right, ready, guys? 3, 2, 1. It actually tastes good. Chew thoroughly. Ooh, there are the hiccups. Oh, God. Ugh. Sugar helps a lot. Fuck. Oh, these hiccups are killing me. Okay. Brutal. Yeah, you chew it thoroughly. Otherwise, you're going to pay for it on the way out. I used to eat a lot of spicy food growing up, especially in college. But raw habaneros are never fun. It's in the left side of my mouth. Water time. Jeez. Brutal. All right, let's get these frickin' questions going. If you were offered insider info on the next DLCs and updates for Age games with a confidentiality clause, would you take them up on it? Or would you rather speculate and react at the same time as the rest of the player base? From Temidin on Discord. Excellent question. Fuck, this really... jeez. So hard to talk. Please save me strawberries. Oh, ow. Okay. Great question. Maybe my favorite question I got. My best answer... Why did I do this? Stupid idea. Oh, my first thing I would do in this situation, I would email them back and ask them why. Why are you giving me insider info? Are you doing so because I can give something unique to my audience? Some sort of cool collaborative build to release at the same time as the next DLC? If so, I'd consider it. But if not, if it's just, oh, hey, you want to know? No. Because to me, the only reason a company would ever do that to me is if they were trying to buy my loyalty. Absolutely freaking not. So in summary, if I could get something out of it, like a cool collab or something that would benefit you guys, and give you some cool content, I would say yes. Otherwise, I would say absolutely freaking not. Great question. Do you consider doing something like that, namely theory crafting, for other games, or maybe making your own game? From Skeleton Angel. Funny you should say that. I would love to theory craft for other games. I've strongly considered it before. In my own notes, I've done so extensively for several games. The top 3 being my favorite game of all time, Age of Wonders 1. Pokemon, which I'm very into, and followed the competitive scene for many years. And Magic the Gathering, which I played religiously for a chunk of my life and fell out of love with back in 2016-ish, around Concept Arc here. Also Hearthstone, for that matter. A game which tries its damnedest to not suck, and I followed with some interest for many years. If there is interest in future, especially if, for whatever reason, AoE 2 and AOM are of less interest to you guys, yeah, I'd consider pivoting. Or at the very least adding a 3rd game to my roster. That sounds very fun. I have tons of ideas. And there's plenty of other games besides those I would countenance. And as for making my own game, yes, absolutely. I mean, I have. My game Enclave is published. It's out. And I'm going to make more TTRPGs going forward. But for computer games, fuck. The answer is yes. I will be making my own games. Well, maybe I shouldn't say I will be, but I will be trying to. My hope, my goal, my aspiration, my dream would be to, yes, make my own games at some point in future. And hopefully use a lot of what I learned from you guys in the comment section and from doing theory crafting to make them actually good. Exact details, obviously, to come well in future. But if it's something you guys would be interested in hearing more about, my thoughts on game design more broadly, I would of course love to make videos about it. Great question. Lastly, from Diego Ramirez, 7901 on YouTube. What is your ultimate goal for this channel? Well, my friend, Diego, you're a great man. You're my first backer on Ko-Fi, and for that I will thank you eternally. And how fitting that you would end off this miserable hot pepper AMA. And with a great question too. My ultimate goal for this channel, I would say, is threefold. One, to make a positive impact on the games that I love. But I have no grand aspirations. Even if I can do things like supporting modding communities and stuff like that, I will have considered that step a success. Second ultimate goal for this channel is to be able to branch out, as mentioned earlier, into other games, into other game design related topics, and make it more of a variety pack. I'd love to still focus on RTS and strategy games, and still AoE 2 and AOM will always have special places in my heart, especially the former. And I never intend to stop making content on those while there is demand for it. But my second ultimate goal would be to branch out this channel to talk about many different topics, rather than just getting pigeonholed into age games. And my final ultimate goal for this channel, as alluded to, is to use it as a way to create video games. I've met so many awesome modders and programmers and scenario designers and artists and musicians. We have a little, not to mention historical consultants, that it's distinctly possible I might be able to put together a legitimate team at some point. And especially if this channel starts making some money, I could justify using it to fund the development of an actual game that I could get feedback from you guys on directly and show you every part of the process. It's extremely ambitious and quite far into the future. But assuming we keep up until that point, that would be my ultimate goal. And it's something that might be achievable. I'm not going to say it will be. I'm not going to say this is a good idea or a smart idea, but it is an ultimate goal. And I hope that answers your question. And with that, we come to the end of this Hot Pepper AMA. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers, a underripe strawberry to you, my friends. Here's to many more. And if you enjoyed this and enjoyed me suffering, I actually think I held it together pretty well. Like I said, I have a lot of experience with eating spicy foods. So if you enjoyed watching me do this, I'll do it again at 10K. Maybe with a stronger pepper next time. I really fucking hope not, though. So I hope you've enjoyed these very objective answers to all your excellent questions. If you happen to have other questions, put them down in the comments. I really hope you've been enjoying the content on the channel, and I very much look forward to continuing to bring it to you for hopefully years going forward into the future. But until then, my name is Robbie Howell. My tongue fucking wants to divorce me. And ciao for now.